Coming up on 7:43, welcome back everyone. You are now looking live at the White House in Washington, where today the president is expected to make another historic move aimed at immigration.
It's a law dating back 227 years called the 1798 Alien Enemies Act, and it hasn't been implemented here in the U.S. since World War II.
That's when it was used by the government to justify the use of internment camps for people of Japanese, German, and Italian descent.
In these camps, also referred to as concentration camps, groups of people were held against their will outside of the normal legal system, mainly for political or military reasons.
Trump's move is expected to face legal challenges, but it could also allow him to bypass due process rights and move migrants at a pace not seen in decades.
We're going to bring in Chief Legal Analyst Khalif Rhodes now to just talk about the legal implications of this act. So what's the biggest issue you see using this in a modern setting?
You can't use it. Let's look at the language. It says it's for individuals whose primary allegiance is to a foreign power and who might pose a national security risk, and that has been perpetrated and attempted or threatened against the United States or foreign government. But the key is that whenever there is a declaration of war or any invasion or predatory incursion. So we got to start there. When I was in school, before I could take, English 1, I had to maybe take pre-English. Before I could take calculus, I had to take maybe basic math. You can't get to the next step until you do the prerequisite for entry. The prerequisite to use this is pretty clear. There must be an invasion. There must be an incursion. There must be a declaration of war. I mean, it's in the law. So if you haven't had those prerequisites, you can't use it. I mean, it's just pretty clear. I don't understand how we're even to this point of actually talking about using this, because there has been no declaration of war for Mexico. I don't remember that. I'm sure Canada hasn't made any incursion. And so if you're attempting to say it's the cartels, which I know that's the direction they're going, if you're attempting to say it's the pushing in the movement of fentanyl, I think there will be an uphill battle with the courts, because yes, there may have been a war on drugs with Nancy Reagan, but I don't think this is actually the technical definition of what the founders intended for a war or a declaration of war to be.
During the Clinton presidency, there was the whole it depends on what the definition of is. So with Trump here, who determines, obviously it's him, I guess, who determines what invasion is and what qualifies as invasion?
Great question. The courts have said that. This is a political question. This is something that the courts have kind of punted in the past and said, we don't want to make that determination of what an invasion is. We don't want to make a determination of what an incursion is. We want the politicians, those folks, to determine that. One example is California. California was thinking that the federal government wasn't doing enough to stop the influx of illegal immigrants coming into the state. So they sued the federal government. And what did the court say? That, you know what, this is just not enough. For you to say that these individual people are coming into the country, it has to be backed, supported, pushed by a foreign power. So an individual that's leaving persecution, individual that's leaving some type of, looking and seeking asylum, that's not the definition. If I'm in my country and I'm going to die and I'm fleeing to America to live, or I'm looking for prosperity, for a better opportunity to take for my family, even if I come in illegally, there are other ways to remove those individuals. We have a deportation process. What we don't have is this. This is solely for wartime. You cited one example, World War II. You can look at Roosevelt. You can look at Woodrow Wilson. You can look at all these times when we were in war when it made sense, because we literally had folks that were trying to invade. The Japanese, the British, these folks were trying to fight us, and we were trying to find ways to stop.
Right, Khalif, but looking back at the way that Trump in his second presidency has been a little bit more tactful in the way he's setting things up, the executive order labeling MS-13, these groups, as terrorist organizations, could you make the argument that these terrorist organizations are flowing across the border, therefore it's an invasion, because he's already had the executive order labeling that way?
I think that's great. I think that's a nice attempt. I'd say this like, oh, that's cute, but I really don't think that's what they intended. That if we're saying a foreign power, right, that's the language. I'm not making that up. And so a foreign power is another country. It's not a terroristic organization. Yes, well, I do believe there are true threats that these terroristic organizations are pushing and pumping fentanyl into our country at a rapid pace. This is not the answer. I mean, we're right now just trying to throw things against the wall and see what sticks. And if this is the language that you're attempting to use, and the courts will go right to the language, declaration of war, invasion, incursion by foreign power. I don't see anything wrong with trying to use something else, because this is not the one.
Well, so, I mean, courts have been kind of split on this in the past, though. What do you see happening immediately after? If we can't use this act, is it just dead on arrival, or?
I
Next
think
here, legally speaking.
what I think is that he'll obviously this is something that he'll go through with, right? And then there'll be legal challenges. Anytime you'll have legal challenges, someone will file some type of injunction. The injunction standard is pretty clear. Do I have irreparable harm? So that means money can't fix whatever you're going to do if this is implemented. The likelihood of me succeeding on the merits. I think it's clear that anyone that sues would succeed on the merits because the plain reading of this language says that he can't use this. And then the weighing of the balances. Is it in public interest for something like this to be implemented? Well, let's look back at our past. We had internment camps. That was an interest there because we had a foreign power attacking us. There's nothing like that happening. You can't point to something in our current time that shows why you need to use this against any of those folks that you're attempting to use it against now.